Hey everyone, Natalie here, and I'm today's speaker. Normally I sit in the back and do audio, or in this case of virtual, I do all the website stuff, but now I am in front of the camera and it's very awkward. Okay, but I am humbly honored that I was asked to speak today, and I just want to give a huge shout out to everyone at New Thought for continuing to be of service and continuing to be a positive light in this whole pandemic time. I know that I really relied on the Sunday services and the different groups and meetups and stuff during this time. So I want to say thank you to everyone for being part of this community. And thank you especially to the NTC Band and Choir for indulging me a little bit and letting me play along with this week's special music. So the central theme of my talk is when the bones are good, the rest doesn't matter. And this talk was very much inspired by that song and by a recent home buying purchase experience that I just went through. I first heard that song when I was driving to go get some coffee some morning in June. It was particularly stressful morning because I had just found out that we needed to move and I needed a uplifting song. So I found a random playlist on Spotify and this was the first song that was there, and something about it just kind of resonated with me and I couldn't really, figure out why. I thought it was cool that it's a song about, the foundation of a house, and I was in the process of buying one. So I found this song really calming, and there was something about the line, "The house won't fall if the bones are good," that just echoed in my mind. And I'm pretty sure I didn't listen to any other songs for like a week. It was on repeat all week. So today I want to talk about trust and trusting the universe when you are sitting in the unknown, which as many of you who might know me, is very difficult for me to do. But again, this whole experience was really, really eye-opening and really pushed me to be able to do that and to just trust that everything happens for a reason, to trust that I have built a solid foundation, that the bones are good, and everything else will work itself out. So how I got to this point of needing to buy a house, as you all know, 2020 has been full of surprises. It's been very, very up and down, very chaotic. And right before the pandemic, I moved into a condo with my partner, and we were, excited to be living together and starting this new kind of chapter in our lives. And then COVID happened. And after a few short months, we were asked to move from this new place we just moved into. We initially looked into renting, but found that it was almost impossible to find a place that would rent to us, knowing that we had 4 pets. And we kept hitting roadblocks with all of our rental searches. Either the places were too expensive, or they didn't have availability, or they didn't allow pets, or just a variety of things kept coming up as we're trying to figure out where we can move in just a month or two. It wasn't until we started hitting these rental roadblocks that we both just got really fed up and frustrated with the process and realized that we really wanted to find some stability in the living situation that we found ourselves in. And so we started entertaining the idea of buying a place, and a really good friend of mine who I love and adore, she recommended a realtor to us and recommended that we reach out and find out what our options are. So we did. All it took was that one phone call for me to realize that I didn't want to rent anymore. I wanted to buy something. And I was pretty eager about getting the process going. The first offer I put in was on the first house that we saw on the first day we started searching. And as I'm sure everyone knows, that goes really great. That always works out, the first one you want. So our first offer was rejected, but everything happens for a reason. And so we kept plugging along, trying not to take each rejection personally. which is a really hard thing to do when you're already in a vulnerable state of trying to figure out where to live, trying to work from home during a pandemic, trying to navigate a pandemic, like within a pandemic. All of those things were just kind of piling on and making this house buying process a little more stressful. So we finally get an offer accepted, and I was like, great, this is it. We are homeowners now. We're moving into the next step, and everything else should be gravy, right? The hard part is finding a place and getting an offer accepted. That was not the case. Things still moved pretty smoothly, but we had to shift into doing things like inspections and negotiating with the seller and things like that. And I remember during the inspection, I'm with our realtor and the inspector, and we're just going around, and he's pointing out all the things that need repairs or need to be fixed or could be problematic down the line. And it just felt like this huge laundry list of things to worry about. And I kind of watched myself start to spiral a little bit into this fear, this negative worry thinking. And in the middle of all of that, as I'm sort of spiraling and thinking, how am I going to afford this and this? And, this is not what I signed up for. But of course it was. So in the middle of all of that, the inspector turns to me and just very calmly says, "But the bones are good." And that moment just flicked on a light bulb for me, because it was in that moment that I realized why that song resonated with me so much. I needed to listen to that song all day, every day for like a week straight to really get the impact of what this man was saying to me in this moment when I'm completely freaking out. And that's when I realized that the universe set up a lot of little signposts like that for me. Little moments that kind of reminded me that I'm on the right path. We're doing the right thing for us right now. Like my dad opening up his home to me when our first offer was rejected because I started realizing I might need temporary housing until we could find a place. Or after, I think our third or fourth offer was rejected, and it was a place we really, really loved. We were really excited to get it. So we were crushed when we didn't get it. And our realtor just says to us, "The universe will plant you where you will grow." All of those reminded me that the bones were good. The bones being my community, being my partner, my family, and the teachings that I've learned through Science of Mind and through New Thought. Knowing to just let go and let God. And we just came here to play, and the universe is doing the heavy lifting. All of that stuff made up the bones. They make up the foundation that allows me to carry on and keep going. And the bones are good. Again, I've always been someone with high anxiety, and staying in the present moment and not being afraid of the unknown has always been a real struggle. But I found that when I could remember and be grateful for the foundation that I've laid, the bones, it made getting through all of this so much easier. It was way less energy than stressing about how everything was going to come together. So I'd encourage you to think about what your bones are. What makes up your foundation that helps you get through these difficult times, that helps you sit in the unknown and know that everything's going to be okay? What helps you trust in the universe or spirit or God? So I want to close with a reading from the Science of Mind 365. The reading for today, October 18th, is "I accept the fullness of life. Today I cease weeping over the mistakes of yesterday and steadfastly behold the face of the great and divine reality. I know that every negative condition of the past is swept aside. Yesterday is no longer here. Tomorrow has not yet arrived. Today is God's day. Today is my day. Today, bright with hope and filled with promise, is mine. Today my heart is without fear. I have implicit confidence in the good, the enduring, and the true. Today, I keep my consciousness steadfast with the realization that there is a spiritual power upon which I may rely. I turn resolutely to that divine source that knows no confusion, to that spiritual center that knows no fear. The Spirit is not afraid of anything. The divine has no enemies. The Spirit knows no opposites. Consciously, I draw close to my divine center and feel the warmth of its presence. I enter into a faith made perfect through love and confidence, acknowledging good in all my ways, desiring only good for others. I rest in calm assurance. I open my consciousness to the realization that all the power and presence there is clothes me in its internal embrace, that the Spirit forever imparts its life to me. I believe in my destiny because I know that the law of good is operating through me. I have confidence in the future and enthusiastic expectation of good things to come. I accept the fullness of life this moment. Life, I've learned, likes to throw us into things that we may not feel like we're ready for. And it's really easy to get caught up in the negative thinking or spiral out of control with worry. And it's in those moments that I've learned to put my trust in the universe. I've learned that when you can place your trust in the universe and not be afraid of the unknown, nothing can knock you down. The paint may peel and the glass may shatter, but the bones are good, so the rest doesn't matter. Thank you. Cut. Clear.